You might be considering going on a ketogenic diet. In this video, we will share the pros and cons. Hi, I am Dr. Becky. I'm a college instructor of the Science of Nutrition.
And I'm Dr. Keith. I'm a chiropractor in private practice for the past 26 years, and you're watching Two Fit Docs, where we take weight loss resistance and turn it into weight loss results.
And we have been doing that by following Keith as he has been doing a ketogenic diet. This past year, you've lost
about 80 pounds in the year.
Right, so it's been very effective, and as a married couple, we've been getting questions, well, if Keith's doing a ketogenic diet and has so much success, are you doing a ketogenic diet as well? Well, I don't, and so that's what prompted this video. We're going to go over kind of the reasons I don't go fully keto, and the reasons that you do. So let's start with the first pro. Why is a ketogenic diet good for you?
So personally, ketogenic diets are super satisfying. I mean, I can have steak, I can have eggs and bacon and cheese and sour cream and cream cheese and heavy cream. I mean, all the stuff that's really satisfying.
Yeah, so if you are a big eater or a hearty eater, a ketogenic diet worked really well for you.
Right.
Now, from my perspective, I've never been as much of a meat eater as you are, as big of an eater. I like more variety, so not going keto, whereas I do keep a relatively low carb, relatively high fat, but not nearly what you do with keto.
Right.
So my diet allows me more variety. So I eat berries and beans and things like that on much more of a regular basis than you do. So
right.
Ketogenic diet can cut your variety a little bit.
Right.
Okay, what's the next pro?
Well, the next pro is probably one of the big ones, and that's the rapid fat loss. I mean, I was dropping fat weight very consistently all throughout that time, maintaining my lean weight.
Yeah, so no doubt, if you've watched our channel, and if you haven't, we'll put the link to your progress videos where you can just watch Keith shrink in front of you. It was rapid weight loss, healthy weight loss, but because we've checked your blood work.
Right.
In order to get that, what I would say the con to that is that a ketogenic diet definitely takes more work than just a simple low carb diet. You need to be monitoring your ketones to make sure that your body is in ketosis, where you're creating those ketones and burning fat.
Yep.
And to do that, you utilized, at first you peed on the keto strips, right? And
right.
to see if you have ketones in there. And then after that, that becomes a little less effective as you move farther. So you do have to do a pinprick to check your ketones.
Yep, I use a little blood meter, and we've kind of shown that on that. It's a little pinprick, and you get used to it.
Yeah. So a ketogenic diet, if your metabolism is really not working efficiently, allowing you to burn fat, you might need to go on a ketogenic diet. But if you do, just know that it will take more work.
Right.
And it can take some months to get into ketosis for some people.
Yeah, it can. Yeah.
Okay. All right, third pro.
Third pro is that calories don't matter as much on a ketogenic diet as they do on other diets. Now, I always tended to keep track of my calories, but the more important thing is your macros. So that's your fats, your carbs, your proteins. So I wanted to make sure my fats were high and my carbs were low, and my proteins were just kind of someplace in there moderate. But being strictly at 1,200 calories every day, that's really not the focus of the ketogenic diet.
Right. So whereas you do track your calories, and you're a tracker, so you do track those.
I track everything.
It's not as vital, I would say, on the ketogenic diet, because you're creating a state in your body that is naturally fat
I could
burning.
actually have a range of 500 calories from one day to the next, up or down, and it really didn't affect my weight loss consistency.
Yeah, so very freeing in that aspect. However, what I would counter with that is that eating out is a little bit more of a challenge when you're on a ketogenic diet. Now, of course, eating out always presents challenges on whatever diet. However, when you are truly in ketosis, where your body is creating ketones, which is what a ketogenic diet is all about, hidden sugars in restaurant foods that you do not know are there can be enough to bump you out of ketosis.
That's exactly right, and a lot of restaurants will actually have calorie counts with their food. But because this isn't calorie focused,
Exactly, good point.
and they don't have those macro amounts, I mean, if they put a little bit of sugar in that food, even though the calories are at a certain point that seems like would be okay for a normal diet, that little bit of sugar they add for flavor could kick you out of ketosis.
Yeah. So you kind of get the freedom of freeing yourself from calories a little bit, but you do have to watch hidden sugars and things like that, and foods that you don't have control over.
Yep.
All right, and another pro.
The anti-inflammatory effect.
Oh, yes.
That's huge.
Yes.
So we tested my blood. My blood test with CRP, which is C-reactive protein, was really high. I mean, dangerously high.
Dangerously, yes.
And it is a blood test that is a factor of inflammation systemically in your whole body. That dropped down to minuscule amounts. I mean, it dropped so far into the healthy range, it was like barely readable.
In just a matter of months, you went
Right.
from dangerously high inflammation in your body, which
Right.
is the heart attack waiting to
I mean,
happen.
I was
to
taking
ideal.
Tylenol. The other thing that was more outwardly noticeable was my snoring, and we've talked about this before, that going on this ketogenic diet, because it keeps my insulin low, and studies have shown that insulin is a inflammatory hormone. It has an inflammatory effect on your system. Keeping that insulin level low, my snoring went away within a week or 10 days of starting this diet, even though I really hadn't, I hadn't dropped like a ton of weight by that point in time. But that was more of an inflammatory thing that was going on.
Yep. Yeah, and I mean, we can't deny that is a huge pro, because the ketogenic diet that you followed healed you on the inside as well as the outside. I mean, and how grateful can you be for that, truly? The only thing I would say is that dairy products were a big part of your diet, and there are people that have trouble with dairy proteins or with the sugar in dairy foods, which is lactose, so we get lactose intolerance. So there is foods that can be inflammatory for some people that were very important for you on a keto diet. Now, you could go without those, but it's more challenging. It would be more challenging.
Right. I didn't have any restrictions like that.
Right. So someone who might have some dairy restrictions. I would also add that you are a meat eater, and meat was a big part of your diet. So a vegetarian will be more challenged, definitely, to get their body into ketosis, because they have to keep their fat very high and their carbs very low. Well, plant foods are carb foods. So it would be challenging for a vegetarian to, not impossible, but it would be more challenging.
Probably a lot more avocados.
Yes, right. So there you have it, some of the pros and the cons. Keith continues to follow a ketogenic diet, rapid weight loss, very satisfying, anti-inflammatory. I like a little bit more variety. Don't mind counting my calories a little bit, and eating some of those things.
And so we should give a little bit of an update. I am back to the keto diet to lose a little bit more, to get down to my original goal that I thought I'd met. We found out I didn't. So I think I'm like 0.2 down from last week. So it has taken a little bit to go from kind of being where I'm not really concerned about it, where I thought I was at my goal weight, and now to kind of get back on the train and kind of start losing a little bit again. But we'll monitor that every week and kind of report the progress and see how we do.
Yeah, so please stay tuned. Hit that subscribe button. We'll be back next week. Also, if you'd like to jump onto the keto diet, we have a free starter kit that we put together. It shows you the foods that Keith cut out of his diet, the foods that he put in to get these results. So we will leave a link here for that as well.
Definitely give it a try, and tune in next week and see what our progress is.